shorts.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to D20 Debates. This is our new show here on the Mann Short. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm enjoying the energy you're throwing out here. You just went right into it.
I'm Charles. You might recognize me as the DM from the Mann Shorts videos.
I'm Jay. You might recognize me without the glasses as Lance from the D&D videos.
And this is our new show called D20 Debates, where we're going to have a debate about all things nerd stuff, D&D, TTRPG, etc.
We're going to have the conversations that most people have before or after their D&D sessions.
Yeah.
In front of a camera to see if you guys agree with either one of us.
Yeah. And then we're going to let you decide who wins the debate. So that'll be fun. The first one that we're starting with is going to be Barbarian versus Bard.
I am Barbarian.
I am Bard. And we're going to see how it goes. We're going to just argue our points and then let you, the audience, decide which is better, Barbarian or Bard.
Club.
Let's get into it. Do you want to go first?
We didn't actually do a coin flip or anything before the show to go first.
No, we didn't. I wondered about that.
I can start. I'm going to be doing the very first part of this more off the top of my head because I thought we were talking about the movie Barbarian. So I just had a lot of horror movie references and stuff.
Okay.
I just wanted to try to make you laugh before we start.
Put me into a good mood. Try
Exactly.
to get on my good side.
I got to be on your good side before I try to go after the fact that you are legitimately a bard in real life. You call your podcast Bard Advice. So I feel like you have a little bit of an advantage in this debate, and I'm about to crush that advantage because I have three main topics I'm going to be going after in this debate. In order of importance. First, DPS. That's least important in my mind because, of course, this is just tabletop storytelling, and that's all I'm here for D&D for. So DPS, barbarians are going to run out on the field and be able to tank a ton of damage, do a ton of damage, take everyone out. Good quality fighters. You always want one in your party, especially if you're a wimpy little bard hiding behind the barbarian just casting buffs to help him beat people up. 2. Character development. Barbarians are one of the more fun characters to develop, especially for new characters because they have no character when you start. I saw that Conan the Barbarian. All of these famous barbarians in history have gone through and started as meatheads who just want to kill and eat meat and pillage and do all that stuff. The good stories, they always end up wonderful by the end. They've had character growth. They've learned things. And 3, the most important to me, unintentional comedy. Bards think they're funny and try to be funny. Barbarians are funny by existing. Also, Bull from Night Court is a barbarian, so barbarians win. I was going to save that for later, but I needed to throw that out there.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I took time to craft as a bard. So
yeah, I'm doing this barbarian style. Why would I write notes? I don't know how to read.
That's true. Okay. Everybody buckle up for this 2 minutes. Knock, knock. Who's there? Heart of gold. Good riddance. In a pickle. Break the ice. Laughing stock. Wild goose chase. Brave new world. This is just a small sample of common phrases and expressions brought to us by the Bard, William Shakespeare. In ancient Celtic lore, bards' primary function involved composing and singing verses that celebrated achievements of war. But more importantly, committing to verse historical and traditional facts, religious precepts, laws, and genealogies. The creators of art, the keepers of time, the architects of unity. And we rely on them daily. In the novels we read, the shows we watch, the music we listen to, the games we play. Their only goal is to create, to entertain, to move. Barbarians, on the other hand, destroy. These organic killing machines exist only for war. They just as soon break your arm as they would your trust. And when all the fighting is finally over, and casualties are calculated, it will be the bard, not the barbarian, that guides society through to the next step. In a world where conflicts often arise, where tensions simmer and battles rage, it's the bard who becomes the beacon of hope. The voice of reason amidst the chaos. The sheer versatility of the bard gives a nuance and emotion that the barbarian simply cannot provide.
Time.
So what do you got? Barbarians better than Bard? Why? Because they're strong.
Strong is helpful. I was going to say if we're going by like you lock 2 dudes in a room and who's winning, 8 out of 10, the Barbarian, I'd say. I give the Bard some...
I don't know, man.
Some
What are
talk
you
their way
talking
out of it,
about?
babe.
I would have you incapacitated before you'd even be able to do anything.
Are we talking about the broad definition, or are we talking about D&D based? Because if it
Well,
is just
that's-
D&D based, it would probably be more 50-50. If we're talking about throwing like Bobby Lashley in a room with Justin Bieber,
Yeah, true. Well, I was actually going to just make a reference to The Princess Bride, but I realized that's probably not the best example because that guy outsmarted himself.
yes, he did.
But I don't know. I think a bard in general would be able to talk their way. There's more versatility in a bard.
There is more
Barbarians can fight.
There is more versatility in a bard. And I also think that there's a lot more room, if we're talking mechanically, to completely mess up playing a bard and be of zero help to your party. I think Barbarian's a good beginner class, like Fighter or Rogue, not because it's a simple class to play as, but you only have a few choices, most of which are going to help your party.
Right.
You rage, you punch something, you block somebody else from getting hurt. No matter if you're new or old, you can always do something useful when you're playing as a barbarian. When I started playing D&D, I tried to jump in as any kind of a spellcaster, let alone a bard, and had no idea what I was doing for the first few sessions.
But you can do anything if you're talking about combat. But where are you at when we need to like convince somebody to let us pass?
I mean, I have fists.
Okay, true. You can, I guess, always resort to violence. But what about moments when you don't have to? What about moments where you need diplomacy? That's the bard.
Because I do think that overall a party structure is necessary. There's very few characters in D&D, other than maybe like Fighter, who could really solo run everything no matter what was thrown at them. And then they'd have to be like pretty
Bards
high
could
run.
do it.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, dude. Are you kidding? Especially now. Maybe not a 3/5 bard, but a 5e bard. You could drop a bard off. He'd be fine. Because with a bard, you could run it so many different ways. You could make them more of like a swordsman or more of a spellcaster or more of support or even like a healer. With the barbarian, you're just getting a barbarian. That's what you're getting. He's going to break down doors and punch people.
It's a tool that is used for the correct purpose.
I'm
I
also
think.
astonished that you said character development as a pro for the
I
barbarian.
love character. We can use the official Dungeons and Dragons movie and the Barbarian in it if you want to talk about a barbarian getting great character
That's
development during a
one
movie.
instance. Most barbarians are just named like Krog and they swing a club.
That's at the start of the campaign. I agree. One of my favorite characters, he was a monk, but he was basically a barbarian. His name's Bork. He liked animals. That was his entire character growth. By the end of that campaign that you were part of some of, he was married with a kid. He was a hero of his town. It's a long form story. It goes with that meme about Chuckles the Clown in session 1. It's a joke character. And by the end, Chuckles the Clown is like reaching over a cliff to save the princess. I'll never leave you, princess. Sometimes the most simple, basic characters can get the best character growth. Versus in the D&D movie, that bard, the main character.
Well, let's not blame all of that on just the fact that he's a bard.
It's not. He's a quality character too.
Way more. I mean, think of the bards. Just think of the musicians and the writers and the painters and the dancers and the singers and the photographers and the filmmakers. All bards.
Do you not support the troops, sir?
Oh no!
I'm not actually using that as an argument, but if you're going after all the writers and the singers,
okay,
I'm going to go after
soldiers
modern
are important.
barbarians.
Right, yeah, for sure. But like, who makes all the laws after the war's over? Who decides what the rules are going to be?
The bards? That's scary.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's a scary but good point, actually.
The attorneys, the lawyers, I would say the doctors, maybe, sure, some. That's more of a cleric thing, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say they were clerics or paladins, depending.
But yeah, man, all the entertainment. You need the entertainment. You need the entertainment when the smoke clears.
Now, you did point out in your opening statement that a lot of the things that bards write are about the great wars and battles and accomplishments.
I know. I had a feeling that would come back
So
to
we
bite me.
could be looking at you overall as a support class for the barbarian. No matter what kind of bard you're talking about. If we want to talk about mechanically, you're throwing buffs at me, you're helping me out, making sure I can punch all the bad guys that could knock you out in 2 hits. And then if you go over to real life, some of the best songs, pieces of classical art ever have been written about wars, battles, biblical confrontations like David versus Goliath. And you could call David a barbarian even though he was a lot littler than his opponent.
Well, you can thank the bards for all of those stories.
So we've heard about why barbarians are cool thanks to the bards. That's fantastic.
When we started this debate, I considered the adage, the pen is mightier than the sword. It was first used in that exact context by English author Edward Bulwer Lytton. And it reminds us that social and political change can only be brought by the written word, not by violence. And what are barbarians but harbingers of violence? When we discuss history, surely we speak of battles. We speak of the brave soldiers who put their lives on the line for our banners, our way of life. But I say, where is that banner without the bard? Let's not forget the profound significance of the bard's contributions to civilization. Not merely storytellers or entertainers, but guardians of culture, engineers of change. Treaties, declarations, constitutions, charters of rights, all composed of ink and paper. It's the bard who offers solace, inspiration, and hope for a brighter tomorrow. When an enemy army is on your doorstep, the natural instinct is to enlist the bravery of the barbarian. Indeed, these warriors prove fierce and unstoppable on the battlefield. But with a bard, you may avoid bloodshed entirely. You may experience unity or peace. I'll leave you all with a quote by another bard with whom I share a birthday, Walt Whitman. The question, "O me, so sad recurring, what good amid these, O me, O life?" That you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse.
I was really hoping that the time would have gone in the middle of the quote. In terms of the real-life bards that you bring up all very good points. You're pointing out that we only know these stories because of these bards and all these things. The bards are looking for recognition. Regardless, whether they have good messages to spread or bad messages to spread. A barbarian knows his job. He is enlisted to do one thing. Whether or not anyone around him agrees with it, he will get that done. Bards will put out some of the best work of their lives first, and then we have to listen to mediocrity for the next 50 or 60 years because of the one great thing that they wrote early in their career. Like Orson Scott Card, who had, I would argue, one of the top 10 most important works of science fiction with Ender's Game, and devolved into a weird racist. But we still have to study him because of the great things he wrote early. Barbarians are obviously bad on the outside to people who don't like violence, and they never try to hide that. You very rarely get a barbarian who wipes the blood off of his fists after he's done. But a bard will spend the rest of his life trying to write away the one incorrect thing that he might have put out into public.
Okay, well, that's our debate.
Yeah.
So that's barbarian versus bard.
We like each other again.
So you in the comments, please let us know what your opinions are. What do you think's better? Why? And then next week, we'll reveal the winner so that we can know. And then maybe as we do this with wins and losses...
Oh, we're keeping tabs.
We can get a little thing going.
We're keeping tallies. We're going to have a championship edition for sure.
We're going to make a belt. It's going to happen. We're going to make a D20 belt.
I barely brought up wrestling this episode. Don't expect that to be a constant. I'm going to talk about it a lot during this series.
I'm actually kind of shocked that you didn't bring it up, to be honest. Well, thank you all for watching. As a reminder, please like, comment, share, subscribe.
Hit the bell, notifications,
please
all that
turn on
stuff.
Notifications, and tell your friends that Man Shorts has got a new show in town, D20 Debates.
Woo!